The saxophones are getting louder, aren't they? And you know, even the idols. I don't know why Lily wants to have a target on her back. Just let just like us have the targets on
Yeah.
their back. There's no issue. You know, she's much more in the public eye than anyone is. So, but she's actually talking about the whole if the backing vocals are too high compared to the live vocals and things like this and splitting. So
It's good that we're bringing attention to this issue, though,
I
and
think
it's coming from the people within the
I
industry.
think Eric Nam has spoken about it. I think the guys from Card have spoken about it in the
Yes.
past, but they have nothing to lose.
Yes.
Respectfully, Eric now has things to lose, but I don't think the
Yeah.
Card people have anything to lose. They already lost.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
which
bit
is a
sad.
shame. Yeah. But the problem with Card was the product, not them. They
actually
actually
think-
carried the group because of their personality stuff.
And I actually have to say, I think Card was incredibly badly managed.
Yeah.
Too high compared to the live vocals. I really don't like it because, well, first of all, I mean, we're singers. Let make sure, I want you guys to hear us. Even if I don't sing my best, I believe as an audience, you guys deserve to hear all the flaws because
Yes, yes. Stop
yes.
defrauding your fans. Not you, NMIXX. You're doing fine. Even though one of your members, for some fucking reason,
I think
in the TMA, IMA, whatever, it must have been technical shit. But also, it goes to speak that actually some idols just have to bend the knee or succumb to the requirements of both the venue, the award show, the televised broadcaster, or their label decisions on how they're gonna protect idol image or how you're gonna perform live, you know.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I think there is a specific thing that happens within the industry that sometimes a lot of these idols don't have the freedom to come out and request things specifically to the way that they like to sing live.
And you might be thinking, well, how, you know, if it's not the idols' fault, why do you blame the idols? Well, here's where it gets interesting, my friend.
Proactivity.
Yeah, well, proactivity is one thing. Also, technical showcase. Show me that you can technically sing in your a cappella videos. Show me that you can technically sing. You're a competent singer in other environments in which are not in the fucking, you know, televised things and the fucking pre-rehearsed and, you know, all these moments that are post-produced shows. Show me that you have technique, because there's shows in which you can show that. SBS Radio is one of them, KBS. There's some specific moments. And then I will be a bit softer and the reviewer when I know that why she's splitting probably wasn't their fucking choice, because this girl can sing. It's the same with NMIXX. Sometimes they split. It's not their fucking choice. Sometimes it's the fucking broadcaster. Sometimes it's JYP being weird. Sometimes it is what it is. But mostly the biggest thing of all is most idols just don't have the ability to sing live.
And sometimes they don't actually want or have the motivation to improve upon that singing capability because the platter has been served, you know?
Me personally, that's my favorite part of a concert is like hearing the live vocals. Like, it's also your guys' job to be understanding that it's a live performance.
Yes. Here's another part. Now, because
a lot of idols get crucified
yes,
in the public perspective.
in my opinion, as they should, but in my other opinion, because you've been lied to so often, you no longer have the ability or the capability of discernment, which is a very important word. And also, nuances is another important word in today's Dora the Explorer. You know, basically, because you've been lied to and everyone's vocal splitting, everyone's pitch correcting, everyone's utilizing now to a certain extent artificial intelligence to fucking do mic gains and vocal splitting and fucking pitch correction where you don't even know, and they're not singing live in any of these moments, but they appear as they are. And then you hear them sing properly live. Then everyone's like, that's fucking shit. What is that? What is that human nuance? What, you were
that's
flat?
awful.
You were awful?
That's awful. Crucify them.
You will never hear me say or hear us say in any of our performances, reviews of live, true live singers that are in Korean pop. Yes, she was a bit flat. Yes, she might have entered sharp. She found the note. She was note accurate here because we're proactive and pro live performing.
Yes.
It's the same as anyone who's an actual musician would think. But the biggest concern, not the biggest flaw of the K-pop industry has been that they thought in order to protect the idol image, you had to lie to the audience on what was live and what wasn't. What that actually created was a fucking nuclear weapon for hatred. Because whenever there are some broadcasters that do have, stricter rules in the old school way where you have to sing live, you've actually put your idols in a position in which they don't have to improve, in which they don't have any proactivity or they don't show any sort of motivation or willingness to work on their vocals, because they've always been vocal splitting and they just have to become good dancers and then look good, but not good singers. You've put them in a position in which now they're going to get criticized 10 times worse because you didn't give them the vocal coaching.
You didn't give them the proper backup. So you put them in a really vulnerable position.
And you get Le Seraphim. And then you get Le Seraphim.
At Coachella.
And then you get Le Seraphim at Coachella, which was like horrible performance. We said our review of it, I still stand by it. It was a management problem because the girls can't sing to that extent live. The choreographies are too difficult. Lie to me.
And that's a problem of production and label training. Correct. Because if you knew what your idols are capable of, you would give them the freedom that you're giving Lily in NMIXX, for example.
Well, you either lie to me, right, and you stick with it. Like, you gotta be a good liar. Like, be a good liar then. So I never fucking find out. Or I know who you are. I know you're a liar, but at least I know you're about it. Like, you lie.
But you're consistent with that.
So I don't like you. Done.
And I know to move away from that product as a consumer of the product.
But don't you ever fucking then put on the split. That just lip sync, but don't put a split, because then you're gonna be saying that you're singing live, because in theory you are, but none of that fucking, majority of it was the backtrack. Or do the fucking worst bit, have Le Seraphim, like they're sort of liars because sometimes they sing live, sometimes they don't, and then you're gonna put them in the biggest stage in the world and make them sing live. It's like, well, do you hate your idols?
Yeah, you literally hate them. That's a humiliation ritual.
And then you don't give them the training. And then you give shit line distribution. And then you have terrible song production and writing and fucking just everything is terrible to sing live. And then you're still going to put them to sing live at Coachella? Yeah. You must hate your idols.
Yeah, not every single vocal is going to be perfect because we're human and that's not how vocals work. If you know anything about vocals, it's when you're dancing like that, there's gonna be some hiccups, The reason we're here, the reason why we are these K-pop artists is because we're here to sing. Like, that's
it's also what differentiated in the past
international pop and K-pop. Korean pop.
It's actually part of the reason. I think the identity of K-pop has been a little bit lost because of this aspect. And part of the reason why we became fans of K-pop was because there was a system, a training, an idol training system, the factory maker. And in this idol training system, it was actually one of our first ever reactions to Korean pop. I said to Waleska, oh, this is sort of like theatre training. When you go to performing arts, and then you told me, yeah, they train at singing, they train at dancing. These people are trained. And you could tell in some of them, Shiny, fucking even Big Bang, fucking EXO, Mamamoo, like you knew, like, holy shit, these
that
people
trained. Was elite, vocally speaking, and then obviously performance-wise also.
You could tell, and Super Junior, like, these boys, and also they improved as time went on, which I think is the biggest fucking pet peeve I have at the moment.
But that comes with actually putting your idols that already have a good foundational training in terms of vocals to keep exploring and keep trying to do harder things vocally as their career progresses. And that's why they consolidate themselves as great singers. It doesn't happen just because you gave them one great song. It continues to improve. But if you never give them the opportunity to explore what vocally they can do, or they don't have the actual tools to access that set of skills, then you're never going to see idols that actually have some improvement throughout their discography.
Very true.
And you'll continue to see great dance performances and no vocals for the rest of their career.
Very true, very true.
Job out of everything. Dancing as well. Dancing is a big part of it, but back to the basics, at the end of the day, we're making music.
Back to the basics, ladies and gentlemen. Preach the fucking Lily Lord blood.
And to make music, you need to sing on top of it. You know what I mean? I prefer it when you guys can hear the vocals up high, because it gives me more freedom to be able to like play with the vocals. If you guys can't hear, or you can, but it's like really like you're confused as to whether this is like the backing vocals or this is my live vocals, then I like to keep it safe and like just do the normal melody.
And you hear it, for example, in the TIMA, it was a good example of that, where you heard in moments in which, for example, she did split, not out of her own fucking volition or will, because she doesn't have a button where she just goes, I'm splitting now. That's the production team.
That's sound engineering.
Sound engineering. When she does split, you actually do see her, then it starts sounding like a double? Is that like double effect, metallic double effect?
And the minute that you start to question whether they're singing live or not,
Are you already
that's a
late?
split.
Yeah, and also,
that is 100% a split.
and you're also late already, because if you're fucking having to question it, because it should be so obvious, because they're gonna be flat and they're gonna be sharp because they're fucking dancing. Whether they find the note in the in the long run of that, because a singing phrase is usually fairly lengthy, you will see, but and that matters on whether they're good artists or not. To finish on Waleska's point of like what differentiated K-pop to now international pop, or like just the normal pop that people Dua Lipa, fucking Ariana Grande. It was that basically Dua Lipa was getting away with, and she still is getting away with, just fucking lip syncing, vocal splitting,
and doing very mediocre choreography.
And he was like, oh my God, she's a goddess. Taylor Swift got away with a lot of her career. No one fucking gave a fuck. I just fucking lip syncing, pitch correction, and on top of that, splitting for a lot of her career. And she doesn't even fucking dance. I mean, now maybe she does, and God forbid you see her. But she, it was like the standards are different though. You know what I mean? Like the standards were different because there was training involved. And unfortunately now it's just...
No, the focus has shifted because
to visuals and dance.
Because the market has rewarded that. Yeah. They have rewarded the dance challenges. They have rewarded the great dance performances. They have rewarded fantastic visuals. And so it doesn't matter whether they can do vocals or not, because most of the time they're focused on the performance.
I also feel like NMIXX is one of the few groups that are not making disposable music. I mean, fucking wild debut they had. I gotta tell you, that was the fucking most disposable shit I've ever seen. But it was a wild. Like, we really reviewed it poorly, and it was a misconstrued beginning. But they have some of the best discography in Korean pop.
Yes,
and
musically exciting.
And it's so advanced for both men and female groups. Like they're just top of the game in terms of musical intricacy, harmonies, chromatics. Their understanding of the circle of fifths. The girls like to be involved. The girls like to perform it live and sing it live. It's like they're a bit of ahead of the game. But it's so weird that there's only one of them. Like there's only one NMIXX. What the fuck? But there's like 17 million girl groups, and I can't think of another girl group that has a musically intriguing, stimulating, and with its complexity,
and still remaining pop, which is the part of it all. Still remaining accessible.
You know why? Because it's hard.
It's like, hard.
It gets confusing to the listener. I'm always thinking about you guys when I'm performing. Like, we don't have to have perfection. Those people that want perfection are the types of people who get confused between playback, complete lip sync versus like actual live vocals. I've seen so many people, like they'll put this video up and they'll be like, oh, look at these crazy vocals, and
ain't nobody singing that shit out. Motherfucker was playbacking.
Like, that's completely lipped.
Lipped is crazy.
It's totally
the
lipped.
Fucking Australian shit.
I
comes
love
out.
her.
Lipped is crazy, bro.
This is
like, that's completely lipped.
Yeah.
I feel like it's happening too much now that people are starting to not be able to tell the difference, which is kind of sad to me. I'm not being like, oh, because I'm just like the best vocalist ever. Like, I'm gonna make mistakes, but I feel like you guys deserve to hear those mistakes. Those mistakes are what makes us human. Those mistakes are what makes it fun to hear a live singer. It makes me so sad when I prepared like all these ad-libs and you can't hear it, or like I change up a bit of the song and you guys can't hear it. It makes me really sad. I'm like, why did I do it then? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not on us. Trust me. Most of the times we want you guys to hear us, okay? It just depends on the venue, and it depends on the sound system, the speakers. It depends on, there's a lot of variables. The mics, the quality of the mics. Look, also for me it gets boring if I'm not actually putting all of my heart into my vocals.
That's another interesting sort of note to keep in mind. I think part of the reason why we stopped seeing idols improve is I think it's fairly disheartening, because the system isn't rewarding improvement. The system doesn't incentivize change and individuality and showcasing something different.
change is the biggest enemy for a formula.
Yeah,
You
of
cannot.
course.
There is a formula, and there is a reason things. There are hits, and the reason why certain things remain, certain groups remain at the top, because there is predictability in the market. The minute that there is unpredictability, everything will crash down, and then you will have a lot of backlash and a lot of money gets lost.
I think also, I mean, Lily, obviously, like I said, I don't think there's any need for her to be saying any of this or put a target in her back. But I mean, we can say it. I don't think she ever will. But it's also, she's saying it depends on quality of mics. It depends on the venue. It depends on the broadcaster. It depends on the fucking label.
It depends on the politics the label has with the broadcaster.
It depends on the fucking relationship with the sound engineering. You will find in Korean pop, everyone fucking knows everyone, and everyone knows what everyone wants. So the reason why we're interested a lot of the time on the international showcases is because sometimes they do fly out a lot of the people, and then they build relationships. Like, for example, KCON, those people have big relationships with everyone. When they used to do Hallyu Pop Fest, those sound engineers, some of them were independent, and some of them were part of the Korean pop system. You have to understand this about Korea. The details matter, my friend. It's hermetic as fuck,
yes.
Especially when it comes to K-pop. However, that's why we used to like to go to the NMIXX, the Hallyu Pop Fest, that everything's a little bit more precarious. It's different management companies, different agencies, different people are involved, and they're not really about it. They're not really the K-pop life. You just think, well, you fucking sing.
Sometimes is, the sound engineer is the guy that does all the hardcore metal functions that there are in London.
For example, Hallyu Pop Fest, a lot of the engineers, they had just done Edinburgh, so they were like, and they were getting prepared the previous year, and they were getting prepared for like Elton John and stuff like that. It's like, what the fuck were they expecting? But then they get given all this list, they get given all these requirements, they get given all this other shit.
And they do the job that they would do for any other rock band, for example, and then they come in here to find out that it's completely different.
This is not going to sound good. And a lot of the issue is, skill problem. I think a lot of the issue is also, again, the system doesn't incentivize improvement. The idols are badly prepared a lot of the time. They have bad training. They weren't ready.
I also have to say, especially in international venues, you also are jet lagged, tired. You're mostly dehydrated and completely irritable because you probably haven't eaten properly. All of these factors play such a huge role into what the vocals are going to be sounding like that night.
Yeah, the fact that they're always perfect is a big fucking question.
And that's the reason why the labels cover their backs and their public perception, because you need predictability, you need consistency, and in a world of many variables that are outside of their control, they will have a hold on things that they can't control,
My rebuttal to also, it depends on the quality of mics, venues and stuff like that. It's like, yes and no. I think also, because you look at it, for example, Espa's a big culprit here of like, they've done world tours, they've done big tours, and touring is very difficult, right? And logistically, it's basically a nightmare, and it's a miracle that it works. But in your own tour, you try to choose the venues if you have decent management like SM does. You try to use the best venues, the best sound engineers, and you control as many variables as you possibly can. But the sound is always the fucking same. It lets me know you don't give a fuck. You don't care if the girls sing live. Because it's easier. It's another way. Have you ever wondered how so many groups can tour so much nowadays? Like, forget the fucking, and you're not seeing them pass out as much. A lot of them, they have mental problems. They fucking pass out. They're fucking starved because they have to meet the fucking 40 kg shit or whatever the hell, 27 kgs, whatever they have to weigh. But have you ever wondered how it's even physically possible? They're not superhuman, bro. It's just you have to offload some loads, don't you? You have to offload some things.
Yeah, you prioritize certain things over others.
You don't make him fucking work as hard in the vocals, You don't fucking make him perform as hard. You can And they still have issues because they're doing so many more dates. That's another fucking problem, but yeah.
It gets boring. That's why I like doing the most on stage. If the backing vocal...
This was also some interesting. Shout out Lily, God bless her.
Blah, 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 and the live track is on, and then every so often you go whoa, and the decibel limit registers that you're about to breathe in to start to sing, and it immediately switches off the original track and switches into a live vocal. So you can be looking at a performer and half of it is real and half of it is not real, because it literally goes automatically like that. And it's really expensive.
I'm dead.
And you've no idea. And then there is also like, yeah, there's like basically AI live like Melodyne tracking where you're singing live and you're going la la la. I keep going to sing songs of the people that do this, but I'm not going to do it. But you go la 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 la. No, so you're going la 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 la. But what you're hearing up front is la 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 la, because it's a feed that it can happen automatically, instantaneously.
So automatic
now.
auto-tuning.
You're lip syncing.
Basically, fuck, you know what? God bless her. She really tried here. I think what she's trying to illuminate us on and express is basically you can get through both computerized systems, now artificial intelligence and automations. I think automations are very overlooked a lot of the time. But
I think AI is expensive and it's fairly new in terms of like this automation.
and experimental.
Yeah,
very
it's very
experimental.
So and I think the difference is quite
Apparent.
apparent, yeah.
But what she's trying to express here is basically, you know how your favorite K-pop idols are able to do at the end of the singing phrase, they go, yeah, give it up. That's right. And then right before that, they did
A falsetto chorus.
La da 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 re. They did the da 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 re. That really came through. It's really obvious for both automations, computerized systems, and artificial intelligence, or just fucking any software, to recognize with decibels, meaning volume and strength of signal. So that's one of the biggest tells. That's why actually, have you ever wondered why K-pop idols all sort of sound the same when they do the ad-lib part? Give it up. Let's do it. Are you coming? Are you having fun? It's very similar, all of it, right? Part of that is you don't want to trigger the fucking wrong automation. You don't want to send the wrong fucking signal and then the split comes on, but there's no fucking split, causes errors, whatever the fuck. It's basically, they also get coached, everyone gets taught. Look, if you say it this loudly, it will come up off the split. If you don't, and you sort of do what Hyun and Kai was doing in TXT, I don't care about naming names. And I feel like people should really drop this fucking act. It pisses me off. Just say it was fucking Dua Lipa. Just say. I know she's on the BBC, so she's fucked.
Cheers.
God bless you. But just say it. The world, the day people stop giving a fuck and just saying it is the day you'll see the industry change.
Absolutely. And this is the type of conversations that are worth having, by the way. I know that it will be like a handful of people here that get to hear this conversation, but overall, this is how the little changes start. That's how, and let me tell you, the industry is paying attention to social media.
Of course they are.
The industry is paying attention to the conversations that happen online, in the Reddit boards, on X, on TikTok, and everything that happens, and the overall general criticism. So if you have a criticism, or you have a point of view that is obviously not destructive to somebody in specific.
Like, it can't be personal.
Because this is not a personalized issue. This is an industry issue. It's worth having the conversation. It's worth getting the ball rolling, you know?